Hey guys, welcome to tonight's Big Brother 23 chat.
Oh, hi. It's episode 36. It's 36.
Is it just me, or did this episode seem unnecessary?
It was.
We already had like a recap episode, and now we're recapping the recap again.
All right, well, last time it was the BB23 Walk to Remember and videos from home. So this episode is like in season 1 when they would just broadcast the same stuff over again and like make Julie say one word different or something.
So a big chunk of this episode was the final 3
resumes.
Yes,
Resumes.
Talking us through their games in their own words. And
their own lies.
My issue with this is that these 3 in particular, well, maybe Azah was kind of realistic about what her game was like, but Big D and Xavier have very high opinions of the games that they've played. And they have a tendency to take credit for things that they might not have necessarily been responsible for. Right. Especially Big D. So, like, how much can we really trust what they're saying in these segments?
It's funny because it's like, all right, we're putting all our money on Xavier. So his resume was the longest.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say out of the 3, he has done the most.
True.
The 3 remaining house guests.
But usually, don't they usually go, okay, the biggest losers first, and then we work up, because you can't follow them. You know what I mean? But
how long have they been doing this? I'm pretty sure they did this last season, but
they did.
I don't know how many seasons they've been doing this.
I thought they did this a couple times.
I'm going to be real. I tend to zone out during these type of episodes. It's just, we've seen it. We're past it, you know? Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about the biggest resume. Or the biggest ego.
Xavier was up first. I think Big D has the biggest ego. Yeah. But yeah, okay. Xavier was up first.
The biggest, he's got the biggest amount of things that he thinks he did.
But I think he did do more than the other 2.
Okay. He probably did. So he came into the house with the mindset that he's not going to let them know that he is this superstar athlete lawyer.
Okay.
What does it say on his cape?
What are you talking about?
Because he's a superhero.
Oh.
All right. So he pretended to be a bartender model, which was really stupid because he didn't know drinks.
He goes to bed at 10 p.m. So
does he even know Blue Steel?
This was not fooling anybody. Like, everybody knows that he's lying about his profession.
It didn't seem like they really cared that much.
Yeah, I don't know that it really added anything to his game. I don't know. Whatever.
He was in a lot of alliances. The Slaughterhouse, the Royal Flush, the Cookout. He had a bunch of final
just a few.
twos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he was really the glue that was holding the Cookout together. And I will say, in a lot of cases, he was the one, along with Hannah, making sure that everybody was still working together. Because he had to go in there with Hannah when everybody was fighting and be like, hey, remember the mission. Remember what we're here for. It's bigger than all of us, so we need to do this.
He was the dad.
I will say,
he was the daddy.
He did play a large role in keeping the Cookout working together, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so he also won an early HOH. That was thrown to him. To establish trust.
Yeah, he wanted to be like, look at me, taking out... I can't remember his name is Brent or Brett.
It's Brent.
Oh my god! Brent. I feel like Julie in season 20.
I feel like Julie in season 2 through 22.
But yeah, he was like, I'm going to take out Brent and do this big thing for everybody, and look at how trustworthy and awesome I am. And then he threw a bunch of competitions, and he was like, I can just skate by for a while. Yeah. And he did.
Well, he was on the block 4 times, so things didn't always go his way.
How many times do we need to hear about this?
I know.
I'm not going to get into it.
He won 2 or more vetoes. As of the airing of, as of them putting this together, was it more than 2? Well, then he
also won the last veto to keep his own nominations the same, remember?
Yeah.
But yeah, he won some competitions, for sure.
So he had a final 2 with Big D. He had a final 2 with Kyland. He ended up dragging Big D to the end because he was a little bit worried if he could beat Kyland or not.
He wasn't sure if he could totally trust Kyland, because Kyland's all like, I want to go to the end with Xavier. It's Batman and Superman. But Xavier was like, is he really, like, dumb enough to do that? So he couldn't trust that Kyland would actually follow through.
Right. And he's got that whole backstory of he lost his brother a few months ago and he promised
I really
him.
feel for him on that.
Yeah. I feel
terrible.
for him on that too. He's going to take care of his nephew.
And that's very admirable.
Yeah.
All right. So, next up, Azza tells us about her game. I felt like she was honest. I mean, she was saying, like, I've seen every season, and I went in here thinking I was going to be a comp beast, and then...
I was not.
I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said she was going to play an under the radar strategy. You know what she ended up doing? She ended up coasting, let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, she won her first competition during the second double eviction, so, like, yeah, she won a comp, but then she, like, made a really dumb move.
I mean...
But she coasted for most of the game.
It didn't hurt that she was a part of the cookout.
Right, so she was safely in that alliance. She had numbers behind her. She didn't have to worry too much.
But I feel like she was a champion of circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
You know? She named this strategy after the fact, under the radar. She got in the cookout. She had the protection of them till the final 6. And then the guys used her to do their dirty work.
Well, she wasn't as big of a threat as Hannah or Tiffany because she didn't coast them. Yeah.
She had a crush on Xavier, which was partially her undoing.
I did like in her thing that she was talking about how, like, honest she was during this game. Because how many times would she go to an HOH for her one-on-one conversation with them and be like, yeah, so I was planning on targeting you this week, just being honest. And then they'd be like, oh, Azza, thanks for being honest with me. Like, you're safe. Don't worry. I'm not going to put you up. And it, like, she was fine. What?
She had trouble getting along with Tiffany.
Yeah, she had her issues with Tiffany.
She had trouble getting along with Kyland.
Yes.
She says she turned it on when she had to. That's kind of true.
I don't know about that.
She screwed up. She majorly effed up when she ended up doing the guy's dirty work. She could have been in a much, much better position if
she had kept Hannah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not her best move this season.
And then she tripled down and said, I got this feeling that I'm gonna win. I can see it. I can really feel like it's gonna happen.
I mean, it is definitely a real possibility. Not just a long shot. Like, it's an actual possibility that she could still win. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
If she's able to win this final HOH competition and cut Xavier, I do think she will beat Big D in the end.
Okay.
So she's got a real shot here.
Would you say Big D has 0% chance of winning?
Pretty much. I just don't see him beating Xavier or Azza. But I do think he's a lock for second place.
Absolutely. He relied on his social game.
Yeah, next up we'll talk about...
Big D.
I'm sorry, this was like big lies. Big delusional.
Big delusional lies?
Yeah.
He relied on his social game because he won nothing. Nothing.
He's talking about how he's had, like, the best social game of all time, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
No.
Again, you were not really targeted because you didn't win anything. Nobody was really worried about you that much.
You were destined to be a goat from the beginning. All you did was lay on that sofa, sleep and fart, cook some eggs and whatever.
Eggs and pasta.
Eggs and pasta, and you coasted your way to the end with the protection of the cookout because you were an ass in a seat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to be blunt, but that's what I thought of Big D's game.
The difference between Big D and Azza, which I think makes a lot of people really annoyed with Big D, is like Azza owns up to being like, you know what? I wasn't involved in a lot of stuff. But Big D claiming that he did all these things is just like, what? Stop it.
He made final twos with Frenchie Xavier, and Kylan.
I feel like he had more than that. I feel like he had other final
twos. He probably
twos.
had them with everybody.
But these were the ones that he was, like, more serious
because
about.
he thought the guys were seriously sexy. Frenchie?
I still don't get the whole Frenchie thing with him.
Ozza was his best friend, but he was ready to vote her ass out if Xavier hadn't hypnotized him and said, vote out Kylan.
This is another thing that I take issue with. They're trying to be like, oh my god, Big D and Ozza, like, best friends. He loves her. He's talked so much shit about her behind her back. And yeah, he would have voted her out if not for Xavier being like, you're voting out Kylan.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had to be browbeaten into voting out Kylan over Ozza.
Which is crazy because it benefited his game.
Right.
To keep Ozza and not Kylan.
All right.
Last week was just wild in that way.
He formed the cookout.
I mean, I will say I think he was responsible for bringing everyone together. I think most of them were on the same page, like, we're not going to go after each other, but I think he kind of, like, verbalized it first, I guess. That being said, I still feel like Tiffany coming up with the master plan was...
He came up with the...
more crucial.
...idea of having the cookout
like an official alliance.
But Tiffany took it one step further and came up with a plan to protect everybody.
Tiffany's plan is what got them all to the final 6.
Him saying that he told lies to keep the cookout secret is kind of not what I got out of it. I got out of it his delusions made him think that he genuinely thought he was being targeted all the time when he was definitely not.
I mean, sometimes it did seem like he really did think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
He did not get along with Tiffany, and it was so bad that he almost dumped the cookout. Multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Would it have mattered? Like, did he win anything to make a move against them? But whatever.
And he's doing it for his mom. So, you know. Whatever.
I did like seeing how excited he was to hear from his mom. And Ozza. Ozza's reaction to her parents really touched me.
Yeah, me too.
It was adorable.
All right, so now we're at part 1 of the HOH comp.
Okay, let's do it.
Who comes up with these names? This was lame. Bouncy boat bash.
This one, that didn't make sense to me because that did not look like a boat.
This should have said, grab a damn wiener and hang on to it because it's got wings.
Did you lose your dignity on a slippery wiener? Yeah.
The winner of part 1 automatically goes to part 3.
Which is it's live on finale night.
Right.
And the 2 losers of this competition face off in part 2.
Which is also going to be on finale night, but it already
happened. If you guys want to know who won, make sure you're watching the spoiler live streams.
So this was a very short competition.
Yeah, I had a feeling it probably would be.
They're on these rocket ship wieners. They look like wieners, really. And you would think.
It was kind of like a sad mechanical bull that didn't really
move very
quickly.
No. And Big D was, I'm sure he was very proud of his diary room sessions because he tried to make this exciting, but it was not.
Yeah, it wasn't the most exciting competition to watch.
Is it he-ya? Is it he-ya? It's yeehaw.
Oh my goodness.
And then he came up with giddy up. That's what everybody says when they're riding a wiener.
My god.
He was having a great time.
Yeah, so Big Brother was spraying the cold water at them. They're throwing freaking
dolphins
pool
and
floaties.
Fish and
yeah.
He fell off at 19 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So then after that, he had to sit in that life raft and just watch the rest of it play out.
That really soul killer.
All right. Well, it came down to Ozza and Xavier, obviously.
Ozza was looking really solid the whole competition.
I think, like she said, her long limbs definitely helped out because she could just kind of like wrap herself around there. Xavier had a little bit of a different strategy. I feel like he was upright a lot more.
I think he was really like shifting his weight. He's shifting his weight around. She was kind
of just attached to it.
Yeah. So She looked good until she fell at 26 minutes.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like I didn't see Xavier's wiener jerking around as much as hers.
Oh my god. Anyway, Xavier won part 1.
Right. So part 2 is going to be Ozza versus Big Disappointment.
All right. And just a reminder, part 2 is generally like a days and events competition with a physical element.
A surf and turf.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's a physical mental.
Yes.
So don't forget to vote for America's favorite house guest. They're getting $50,000. Doll hairs. All right, so
after the competition,
the funniest part of this episode was when Big D tells Xavier, "Now don't worry, I'm gonna take care of part 2."
That does not sound like Big D.
That's my version of Big D. Don't worry, I'm gonna do my part, and I'm gonna take care of part 2, and we are sewed up. We're gonna be like the final 2, so we're guaranteed to be like the final 2.
Yeah, because these two are sticking with their deal. They are terrified to go to the end with Ozza because they think that all the women are gonna vote for her automatically.
No.
So they ideally would like to be facing off against each other in the final part of the competition because they want it locked in that they're both gonna make it to the final 2 no matter what.
Well, Ozza's really sensing the devil at her heels.
She knows this is a must-win for her in part 2.
This is a do or die. If she cannot have a chance at winning HOH, no one is taking her to the end.
She's got to do it herself.
Yeah. That's right, girls. Do it for yourself. So, Wednesday's the finale.
Whoa!
Who's excited?
I'm excited. Let's wrap it up, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's been a monumental, historic season.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to finally have a black winner
of
Big Brother. And hopefully Tiffany will win America's favorite player. But yeah, I just want to remind you guys, too, we're going to be doing our finale recap live.
We're going to do it effing live.
Yeah, so that'll be, I guess,
close
around...
to 9...
What time is this one?
11.
So it'll be probably like 11:20-ish.
Yeah, we need to like have a bathroom break.
Go over our notes, you know, that sort of thing. So 11:20-ish probably.
Yeah.
We'll give you more details as it gets closer. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow for the... Yeah, oh yeah, we're watching the Tonys now. But tomorrow I'll see you for the live stream for the spoilers. So, until next time, much love.